Once upon a time, it was a day like any other day in Hollywood. The smog was thick, the traffic was a nightmare, and paparazzi stalked celebrities non-stop. But there was one person in town who was given news so surprising, she was unsure if she had heard it right.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. Could you repeat that again?
I asked if you will marry me.
Her boyfriend said. He was down on one knee in the kitchen while she was sitting at the table eating cereal. She sat there dumbfounded, not knowing what to say. This was a big step for her.
Look, Bobby, you know that I love you. I really do. But the thing is, I'm not ready for this kind of thing yet.
Hearing those words, Bobby felt like a fool, but he still wanted to ask why, leaving this conversation to take forever until Kate had to get ready for work. The job that she had was working at Warner Brothers studio. It was nothing too big, just staff stuff, but for some reason she got a call that day from the head office. This made her scared that she may have done something wrong. When she got there, in the office stood a fat, short man. It was the CEO for the studio, named Plotz.
Listen, Miss Holman, I'm sure you heard about the cutbacks we made since we're not making much money with movies these days.
As he went on talking, she knew right then and there that she was going to get fired. But instead, what she heard was...
And we need you to take care of them until they find a better home.
I'm sorry, what?
We need you to take care of the Warner children. We can't afford to keep them here. It's a lot of work.
As he went on again, Kate couldn't help but have 100 thoughts running through her mind. What was going on with this day? Why her? What did she know about taking care of kids, especially toon kids? But before she could get a word out, the deal was already done. Right after that, the office doors were kicked open, and in came Dr. Scratchansniff and hello, nurse. They gave the young woman suitcases and other belongings that the children owned, then shook her hand and wished her luck. When they ran out, in came Ralph the studio guard, holding a big butterfly net with the Warners inside. When they popped out and saw this stranger, they knew right away who she was.
Mommy!
They cheered as they jumped into her arms.
Oh, I can't believe it! We're gonna have a real family!
Do we also have a daddy?
Wakko, how many times have I told you this isn't the 90s anymore? If anything, we could have another mommy.
As they went on asking all of these questions, the only thing that was going through Kate's mind was, what was she gonna tell Bobby? When they got back to the small apartment, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot were trying to be nice, but still, they couldn't stop themselves.
Oh, it's, cozy.
Yeah, a beginning movie star kind of look.
This was the best they could do?
Dot.
Look, I know you guys are used to the big fancy Hollywood stuff, but this is the best I can do. Until then, could you just sit on the couch while I make a quick phone call?
They agree while turning on the TV as Kate tried to explain to her boyfriend about everything. He was having a hard time understanding her since it was all said in a fast whisper, leaving him no choice but to come home from work early. When he opened the front door and saw the Warner children, it clicked what was happening. When he and his girlfriend went to the bedroom to talk, Yakko, Wakko, and Dot were getting a little concerned, thinking that their dream of having parents was going to be a short-lived moment. As the couple discussed, Kate started to freak out.
What am I gonna do? I don't know anything about taking care of kids. I mean, my parents worked me like a dog, thinking I was gonna grow up to be the first woman president, not mommy dearest.
Look, Kate, I'm sure it's gonna be alright. I mean, they're toons after all, so it can't be that hard.
I guess you're right. And maybe this will help me open up to other things rather than just being a workaholic.
So, it was set. The children were gonna stay. Having tuned kids was easy because you didn't have to worry about safety hazards, but there were things that normal people just couldn't do, like eating a whole refrigerator, jumping into a TV and ruining a scene, and repainting the entire house, leaving the poor couple with nothing but a headache. After what the kids did to the apartment, Kate went to the hardware store to get some paint and brought Wakko along, thinking maybe separating them for a bit will be easier. Before going inside, Kate took a deep breath, knelt down, and looked Wakko right in the eye.
Now, Wakko, sweetheart, I will give you $10 if you stay good and don't do anything crazy, got it?
Okie dokie.
He said, giving a thumbs up. As they were in the store, things were going good so far, but as Kate was talking to an employee about what paints they have, Wakko, who was drinking a big Slurpee, suddenly felt the call of nature. He tugged on her shirt, but she waved him off. He tried to tell her, but she told him not to interrupt. He couldn't take it anymore, so he ran off to find the restroom by himself. After finding the colors she wanted, Kate turned to Wakko, asking if he was ready to leave, but noticed he wasn't next to her. She looked around and still couldn't see him. She then ran around the store, scared about what he was planning to do, but it was too late. She heard the front desk calling her name. Yakko and Dot were watching TV while Bobby was on his laptop. The front door opened and there stood Kate, not looking too pleased, with Wakko standing next to her crying, using the sleeves of his shirt as a tissue. He then ran to his big brother, hugging him, and as he did that, everyone in the room wanted to know what happened.
Well, besides buying paint, there was something else I had to buy. A toilet.
What?
Wakko, honey, would you care to tell him?
I had a body emergency, but I couldn't find the bathroom, and I really needed to go, so I...
He was found using one of the display toilets.
After she said that, Wakko cried harder. He was so embarrassed and felt horrible. Yakko then stepped in, wanting to know how this happened. Kate felt so angry. She now can't do one simple task in her life without being humiliated in public or going broke. She was about to blow up, but Bobby stepped in and took her to the bedroom to talk.
Sweetheart, calm down. Look, I know this parenting stuff is not easy, and I feel bad that I wasn't there to help. Look, how about tomorrow we take a break and go out to eat? Just you and me. What do you say?
That would be great, but who would watch the kids?
Well, there is that sweet old lady, Mrs. Ramsey. I'm sure she can help.
After the plan was made and done, the couple went out while Yakko, Wakko, and Dot just sat on the couch and watched TV, since that was the only thing to do in this house, and Mrs. Ramsey was fast asleep. While the couple was at the restaurant, Bobby couldn't help but ask something.
Hey, Kate. Do you remember when I asked you that question, and you said you would think about it? Well, it's been a while. So...
Oh, come on, man. I don't need this right now.
Well, why not? I've been putting my life on hold to know if you love me or not. So what is it?
I don't know, okay? I don't know. I don't know anything anymore since our lives have become this.
As she said that, the couple looked around to see that they were making a scene. Bobby then suggested that maybe it's best if they just broke up. Kate couldn't say anything as he got up and left, leaving her alone and heartbroken. Meanwhile, back at the house, the Warners were fighting over the TV remote while their babysitter was still sleeping. As they ran around trying to get a hold of it, they ended up in Kate's bedroom. Wakko stood on the nightstand and lost his balance, falling backwards onto the armoire. It started to wobble, but didn't fall. What did, though, was a very old Cinderella jewelry box. When it hit the floor, it broke into 1,000,000 pieces, leaving the kids terrified, knowing that they were in for it now.
Wakko, what did you do?
It's not my fault. You pushed me.
Look, Sips, maybe we can fix it. All we need is glue and,
But before he could finish, they heard the front door open, leaving them to come up with something fast. So, Wakko grabbed his gag bag from under his shirt and pulled out what they could use. Duct tape, a tub of glue, a flamethrower, just about anything that could work. They tried to fix it, but with so little time, when they were done, it looked worse than before. They thought that maybe if they put it back, she wouldn't notice it. They threw it back onto the armoire, ran back to the front room, and laid on the couch, pretending to be asleep. When Kate walked in, she was still upset about what had happened at the restaurant, but she was at least happy to know that the kids didn't make a mess while she was gone. When she went to her bedroom, she laid out on her bed, looking at the ring on her finger, not knowing if she had made the right choice, or if anything she had done had been a good idea. She laid there, just wishing she had a sign from the heavens telling her what to do. As she got up to put the ring back in the jewelry box, what she found was nothing but a big ball of glue that was wrapped with tape and wood. Seeing this, she was at a loss for words. The only thing she could do was scream. She then ran to the front room, grabbing the Warners by the scruffs of their necks and took them out to the car. She threw them in the back seat and drove off, knowing just the person who would have the heart to take them in. With it being so late, it was no surprise that Dr. Scratchansniff was fast asleep in bed, but he bolted upright when he heard frantic knocking at his door, and he went to see who it was.
All right, I'm coming!
When he opened the door, there stood Kate with the kids, and all of them were in tears, leaving the therapist dumbfounded.
Why, Miss Holman, whatever is the matter?
Dr. Scratchansniff, please, I can't take this anymore. Could you please call Mr. Plotz and tell him to take these breads back? My life has become a nightmare since they came.
Look, how about this? Why don't you come inside and tell me what happened, and I can see if I can fix the problem, yeah?
Okay, fine.
They went into the living room, and Kate sat on one side while the Warners sat on the other. After what happened that night, they were scared of her. When Dr. Scratchansniff came back into the room, he handed the kids cups of hot chocolate he made to calm their nerves, then sat next to Kate to hear what had happened.
It's just... my parents have pushed me to be this whole other person it isn't me. And now, I don't know who I am. When I turned 18 and they kicked me out, it was the first time ever I started making my own choices. And it was scary. Because they always made decisions for me.
I see. Well, has motherhood ever crossed your mind once?
No. They just brainwashed me into thinking it was a waste of time. And there's more important things to do in life than having children.
That's true. That's very true. Not everyone is meant to live grand lives. And if people want to live simply and start a family, that is okay. There is no shame to it. And being a mother won't make you less of a successful or happy human being.
You sure?
I'm sure. Now why don't you go home and get some sleep? Mainly for me, because I have to deal with Kanye West tomorrow and start all over again, yeah?
So they agreed and went home the next day. When Kate woke up, she walked onto a very sweet sight. Yakko, Wakko, and Dot had made her breakfast to say they were sorry and will try to be better from now on. With that, she forgave them. But before getting to eat, there was someone at the door. It was Bobby with flowers. He came over to say he was sorry too. Yakko had called him and told him everything, and now he understood why she was scared to take the next step. Bobby told her that he'll be by her side to help her out no matter what. With a reply like that, it gave her hope that she didn't need to be scared, because she had people in her life who would let her find herself and be there for her when she was feeling bad. This gave her the courage to say yes.